Natural resources are the resources obtained from the earth and its environment. Natural resources are classified as renewable resources which are continuously available for us to use for years and years. They do not get exhausted with time, like sunlight, wind, and water. Now, the question arises, why do we need to manage our resources? We need to manage our resources because with the increase in the population, the demand for resources are increasing day by day. So there is a need to manage the resources to minimize their use and preventing them from getting exhausted. Coming to the point, today we will be focusing on three types of resources. First, forest and wildlife. Forests are biodiversity hotspots. Biodiversity is defined as different types of organisms present on the earth. The main aim of conservation is to preserve the biodiversity. The loss of biodiversity will lead to a loss of ecological stability. One of the most common methods of forest conservation is silviculture. It is a type of method in which trees are grown and cultivated.
Water for all. Water is required for fulfilling the basic needs of individuals. Human activities have altered the availability of water in various regions. Ganga Action Plan. This plan was launched by Shri Rajiv Gandhi in 1986. It is to improve the water quality of Ganga by treatment. Dams. Dams are made to store water that can be used in irrigation, in generating electricity, etc.
But dams can also cause
problems such as excessive sedimentation, waterlogging, sudden floods, soil erosion, large-scale deforestation, health hazards. Coal and petroleum. They are the non-renewable natural resources. Coal is formed by the remains of the trees buried inside the earth. And in case of petroleum, it is formed by the bacterial decomposition of dead plants and dead animals. High pressure and high temperature are needed for the formation of petroleum. Both coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. They are getting used up at higher rate, so there are more chances that they get exhausted soon. Disadvantages for fossil fuels. Burning of fossil fuels release large amount of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and other harmful gases. This causes air pollutions. The harmful effects of air pollution. This also raises the earth temperature and thus leads to global warming. Steps to minimize the pollution from fossil fuels. Reduce the use and burning of fossil fuels. Use the CNG in transport vehicles to reduce pollution. Alternative sources of energy such as hydroelectricity, nuclear, solar, wind power and biogas should be used.
a windmill is a type of working engine. It uses wind energy to convert into rotational energy. It can be used to generate electricity to pump water. It's mainly used by farmers to directly irrigate their crops from the mainstream of the water body.
Nuclear resources. Nuclear resources are also natural resources used mainly for power generation. It has been proved that nuclear resources are natural resources, since uranium used for power generation is also natural and was formed millions of years ago by the remnants of a star. Uranium 235 is used mainly for power generation. When bombarded by neutrons, it splits into barium, krypton, tellurium, and zinc, which all are radioactive in nature. Nuclear fusion is a process in which light nuclei like hydrogen, which is found in large quantities in the form of compounds, is abundant in nature. Under intense pressure and heat, gets fused up to form helium. The extra neutron escapes, releasing tremendous amount of energy. The first nuclear fission was discovered by Otto Hahn, Lise Meitner, and Fritz Strassmann. The first nuclear fusion was observed by Mark Oliphant in 1932. Solar energy that we use today is a result of nuclear fusion that occurs in the sun. There is a nuclear power plant in Karnataka at Kaiga with a capacity of 220 megawatts. It has set records for the longest operating power plants. Uttarakhand is yet to get a nuclear power plant in India. The first nuclear power plant was in Tarapur, that is Maharashtra. Nuclear power plant in Maharashtra. Management of nuclear resources is necessary because reckless use of these deadly resources for power generation without proper handling of these nuclear wastes will lead to radiation poisoning, birth defects, etc. But let me be very clear, these all happen if we use nuclear fission and not nuclear fusion, since products released are not radioactive in nature. But yet, we have not developed any technology for nuclear fusion commercially. Thank you and all.